What's up, Dogos? It's Trent, aka oTradeMark here with GamingUpgrade.com. And last year, me and PwnStars.com were the first max prestige players in Call of Duty Ghosts. And the year before that, I was the first prestige master in Black Ops 2. And I wanted to talk to you all about racing to max prestige in Advanced Warfare because we're going to be competing in that, and there is a lot of misinformation being spread about the race. So first off, hashtag the race isn't the race to max prestige. Hashtag the race started out as a race in that Ernest Lee, T. Martin, Gold Glove, and Jericho were trying to be the first players to reach max prestige in Black Ops 2. But they later stated that hashtag the race is just their brand name and that they actually aren't racing against everyone else. And aside from the ridiculous irony of calling your brand hashtag the race and then stating that you aren't racing, the point is that there are essentially two races that have developed over the past 2 years. Hashtag the race is the charity stream comprised of the popular YouTubers, and then there's the actual race, which I competed in and me and Pwn competed in last year, where players from around the world tried to become the first max prestige players in the world. Secondly, I'm not competing in hashtag the race. Because of the misinformation that I talked about earlier, hashtag the race has become a term used to generically describe the race to max prestige. People interchange that hashtag to mean different things. And you can go back to a video I made when Black Ops 2 first came out where I specifically said I was never participating in hashtag the race. That was their thing. My goal has always been to be the first max prestige player in the world. Next of all, racing to max prestige is not fair. I hear a lot of people say that if you want to win the race, it needs to be quote-unquote fair. This is entirely untrue. The first person to reach max prestige in a game has typically always been the person who gets the game the earliest and plays the game the most. That was the case for Ernest Lee in Modern Warfare 3, and that's the same for me in Black Ops 2. Typically, the first max prestige player in the world has always been someone who got it really early and played it a lot. Now, I just learned today that the servers, the multiplayer public servers for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare were turned on. And that's pretty early. Typically they turn on the weekend before the game comes out, but this is almost an entire week before the game comes out. And guess what? Most likely the first person to reach max prestige is going to be someone who has the game right now and is willing to play it non-stop until they reach max prestige. That being said, racing to max prestige should be fair. This is a concept I can completely agree with. Racing to max prestige should be fair. It should be an official event sponsored by the developers with an official start time and official rules. It should be a competition that anyone can compete in, not only the people with connections or enough money to get the game early, but unfortunately, as much as I have requested it, no developer ever responds to these requests. Now, this year the race has gotten more attention and more competitors pre-release than I've ever seen in any other Call of Duty game. So this is another attempt at contacting the developer, Sledgehammer Games, to request a response. Please, 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 if anyone at Sledgehammer Games or anyone that knows anyone at Sledgehammer Games sees this video, please have them, at the very least, Sledgehammer Games, please respond to the community letting us know when the global embargo lift is. That way we can know when we can legally stream the game. And secondly, please give us an official start time for the race to max prestige. This would give it an official start time so everyone would know. And you would also need to do some kind of tracking measure or global stat reset so that you would make sure that everyone so you could kind of track who had legitimately started after the official time. But I mean, that is my request. At very least, give us a global embargo lift time so we know when we can legally stream the game. And if you don't give us a start time, which I'm not gonna get my hopes up because it's never happened in the past, but what I'm doing this year as kind of the two-time reigning champion is I'm getting a list of teams together that want to participate in the race to max prestige. And if the developer doesn't come up with a global start time for the race, then I'll work with the other teams and we'll come up with an unofficial start time for all of those teams so that we can kind of get an unofficial start to the race to max prestige. And hopefully that will kind of unify all of the teams together. And I'll also be creating a leaderboard to where all the viewers can see all the teams and what level they're at, and we'll update that daily. But anyways, guys, if you could please tweet this video or tweet a response at Sledgehammer Games or anyone that works at Sledgehammer Games. If you want to ask them the questions yourself, just ask them when the global embargo lift is going to happen and if there's going to be an official start time to the race, or just tweet them this video and hopefully we'll get a response. But, you know, maybe don't get your hopes up. But anyways, guys, malo Alpito, thanks for watching, and I'm out of here.